Alright everyone, get in here, sit down, and shut up. We've got stuff to talk about. In this video, you'll see my power rankings for Week 10. If you're not familiar with my videos or my power rankings, these are the most accurate power rankings on the internet. You will not be able to find more accurate. You're welcome to comment down below if you disagree with anything, but fair warning, you are wrong. The bottom 8 teams in the league right now consist of the Miami Dolphins, Las Vegas Raiders, New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the New York Giants. These are some of the absolute worst teams in the NFL. Currently, if there are 2 teams here that I don't think belong here that could perhaps get out of this basement, it's the Jaguars and it's the Dolphins. Now, I have to admit, I am a Miami Dolphins fan, so it's pretty easy for me to think they are a bit better than they look. They seem to suck this year, but I do kind of think they're going to win some games at the end of the year, and they will get out of here. I've been saying since the beginning of the season, the Jaguars look like a pretty solid team. The fact they're here, though, maybe I was wrong, but I do think by the end of the season, they will not be in this bottom 8. The remaining teams in the bottom half of the league right now, starting with the Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, Chicago Bears, New York Jets, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Cincinnati Bengals, Seattle Seahawks, and the San Francisco 49ers. I have to be honest with you, the Jets do seem like a team that could perhaps go on a run and really start to climb. I know you might not like him, I know you might think he's weird, but Aaron Rodgers is good at football. He might not be as good as he used to be, but he's still Aaron Rodgers. He's still good. I could see the Jets winning some games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, on the other hand, losing out on Godwin and Evans is going to be crucial to their season here. Evans might come back in a couple weeks, but it could be too late for them. The other team I like to point out here, the Cincinnati Bengals, I think are probably going to climb their way into the top 8 eventually. They do seem like a much better team that just had a rough start to the season. And if any of these teams in the bottom 16 has a chance to really go on a run, it probably is the Cincinnati Bengals. The first half of the top half of the NFL consists of the Indianapolis Colts, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos, the Los Angeles Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Arizona Cardinals, Houston Texans, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Colts are a team that's going to easily fall out of the top 16. They have a lot of games that were one-possession games against really bad teams. They just happen to win. They are an absolute pretender this season. Pittsburgh Steelers, I just want to point out, only fell this far because of the bye week. Pretty sure this will be the lowest that they go. All right, we are into the top 8. These are the 8 best teams in the NFL right now, starting with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers coming off a tough loss against Detroit in Green Bay. It's a division game. What do you expect? Either team could win. It's pretty straightforward. I think the Packers won't have a problem staying in the top 10 this season. Bouncing back with a win against the Colts, although I don't find that to be that impressive. We've got the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're a pretty solid team. I think they'll be a good enough team, a playoff team. Don't think they've got Super Bowl written in their stars, though. At 6, we have the Washington Commanders, who I'm starting to believe might be one of the best teams in the NFC. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender this season, but I think they're a good, solid team that has all the makings of going on a deep run in the playoffs. In 5th place, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, I've already said this before, they're going to end up clinching the division maybe before Thanksgiving at this rate, and I think that's going to do more harm to them than good. I don't think they can catch the Ravens or the Chiefs for the number 1 seed, so I think they're going to cruise to the playoffs, and that's going to hurt them by the time they get there. They are a good team. Josh Allen is a good quarterback, but I think what's going to hurt them is just how bad their division is. There's nobody there to push them, and that, when it comes time to the playoffs, is going to be a huge deal for whoever gets to play them. In 4th place, we have the Atlanta Falcons. They are here on merit. They are here because they are winning the games they need to win to continue to climb the rankings. But I have to say, of everyone in the top 8, I feel like they might be the biggest pretender. Are they a playoff team? 100%. I have no doubt there. Are they an actual Super Bowl contender? That's my issue. I don't think they are. But they've got the run game. They've got a quarterback who knows how to win games. Perhaps they'll prove me wrong. I just feel like this is a team that is maybe at the height of their run right now. Coming as what may be a bit of a surprise to some of you, we have the Kansas City Chiefs in 3rd place. They were in 2nd place last week, but their narrow win over the Buccaneers just sits wrong with me. While it was still a win, and yes, they are still undefeated, and yes, I do think they are a Super Bowl contender, that win just should have been a bigger one. The Baltimore Ravens are my 2nd place team, jumping the Kansas City Chiefs, who were here last week. Their win against the Broncos, just absolutely amazing. Coming off a loss against the Browns, which was, what the heck was that? But then going into probably a top 5 defense and just absolutely smacking them around. They deserve to be bumped back up. I do think if the Ravens and the Chiefs played again, it would be the Ravens winning this time. I get it. The Chiefs beat them earlier in the season, but that's now almost 10 weeks ago. So that win has much, much less to do with the rankings now than it did then. The Ravens, I think if they can get their defense good enough, are going to be one of the last teams remaining in the playoffs. And in first place, obviously, we have the Detroit Lions, who had the biggest quality win of the week when they beat the Green Bay Packers. I gotta tell you, nobody, in my opinion, right now is as big a Super Bowl favorite as the Lions. If I had to guess, based on what I've seen so far this year, as good as the Chiefs and the Ravens have been, I think the Super Bowl today would be the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think any team in the AFC wants to play the Steelers. I think Russell Wilson makes them a absolute Super Bowl contender, and you will see that here in the coming weeks now their bye week is over. But even if they come out of the AFC, I don't think they want to play the Lions. At this point, the Lions are going to win this whole thing, and it won't even be close. Those are my power rankings this week. Thank you so much for watching. If your team was in the top 16, why don't you go ahead and leave a like on the video. If your team was in the bottom 16, you should go ahead and subscribe so you and I can keep an eye on all those 16 teams together and see how they do by the end of the year, because my favorite team gets to be in last place. So I don't want to hear any complaining from the rest of you. Thank you all so much for watching, and you all take it easy.